Alrighty, folks, something I look forward to doing this year is having 100 conversations about portfolio reviews. We are about to go through number 3, so we've got 97 more to go. Number 3 is going to be with the one and only Jeff. Jeff, how you doing, buddy?
Great. And yourself?
I'm doing very, very well. So let me kind of summarize what I know to this point, Jeff, what you shared with me, so we catch the audience up. And then I'm just going to let you ask me a bunch of questions, and we'll see where this goes. You ready?
Yep, you bet.
All right. So first thing I want to congratulate you on is what your monthly, what I call your monthly nut, some people call it burn rate, basically what it costs you as a family to live each and every month. And you wrote that down as $5,500 to $6,000. That, I mean, that line item is the most important thing I think most people need to figure out, because from that line item, and we'll just call it $6,000 so the math's really easy, you and I can start talking about how do we get Jeff to 12 to 15 grand in passive or semi-passive income? Because we are not here just to cover our monthly nut. We want to 2x, or in this case, 2.5x that. So all of our conversation for the next half hour is going to be, okay, how does Jeff most efficiently get to 12 to 15 grand? Because again, there are surprises and vacancies and things break. So when I look at the numbers you shared with me, that was where my mind went first. Second, you have a portfolio today which puts you in the multimillionaire status. You have 24 units, if my math is right. So
34 with, I have two entities. One with my brother, we have 8.
Okay.
And then my wife and I have 26.
Okay, so let's call it 30, right? So we'll split your brothers in half, you and your wife together.
Yep.
So we'll call it 30 units. Thank you for that. So when I look at that, and, I look at what the stated goal is, we'll just call it 12 grand for an easy conversation. My first thought is you have enough. It's about, how can we, tweak the portfolio, manage the portfolio, operationalize it, because, you don't have to have more, right? I do believe you can have 30 units and over the next couple of years, get to that 12 to 15 grand. That's where I start. That was where I first went, but I'll let you stop me there and ask questions.
Absolutely. I agree. We, the most recent acquisition was in July. And so we're still working on stabilizing and optimizing that one. And I think I told you before, we weren't planning to have 3 units to rehab in January and February. So we're going to be laying out $50,000 for that probably. And of course, that's going to affect our cash flow. And
for sure,
it shouldn't affect our personal lifestyle too much because we have reserves. We just weren't planning to spend them this quickly. And so far, we've done we rehabbed one, it's almost finished. And we've done that all out of cash flow.
Perfect.
And that includes spending $8,000 for a new central HVAC system instead of electric baseboard heat, and painting the whole place and putting in new flooring and reworking the kitchen cabinets. And so, yeah, we're feeling pretty comfortable. I think we were at a place where it was really good, and we decided to just extend a little bit more and add those 10 units. So.
Yeah, well, I think when we look back in 24 months, that 10 units is going to be what makes the rest of your life really comfortable. Anytime you pick up a new project, certainly something of that size, it just comes with its own surprises. And again, sudden vacancies are part of that, no doubt. But I think when we're together in 2 years, 2028, those 10 units are going to be what put you over the top. So I think it's going to prove to be a pretty good move. When I look out into your future, because that 10 got you to 30, and now, structuring the portfolio to get to 12 grand, frankly, is going to be a lot easier. It would be harder. You'd have to pay down debt probably more aggressively and operationalize it a lot more. But now you're at 30. I think the path to 12K passive or semi-passive is a lot easier. So I think it'll prove to be a good purchase, even though maybe the first 6 months is like, another one?
Yeah. Well, we planned on rehabbing all of them. We just didn't plan on 3 this month.
It happens. It always happens in 3s. The other thing I see in your question, and let's talk about this, is you're talking about potentially getting out of one part of town and moving to a different part of town. it sounds like that would be 1031 exchanges, but I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Yeah, ideally we would 1031 from our older stock that's,
Yeah.
100-year-old buildings to that are inner city, a little bit tougher to rent, a little bit tougher crowd, a little bit lower credibility,
Sure.
into another purpose built, intentionally built, whether it's like up and down apartments like the ones that behind me, or townhouses would probably be ideal. So that would be the.
So I fully bless that. You obviously know Olivia and I are looking at some of the same things. We're looking to, as we get older, we want the age of our average property to drop quite significantly. Right now, it's got to be over 60 years. It might be 70. I haven't done the math in a while, but those just come with their own challenges, right? They're just old and tired. So I think making that move is interesting, and I'm going to guess they're all residential, right? So they're all duplexes or triplexes or quads.
Correct. We have one single family house. And I only bought it because the guy that I bought a portfolio from was selling it, and it was attached to a duplex that we already owned there. So it kind of made it into a triplex. But
I got you.
We avoid single family homes because we want to see people getting onto the property ladder. And we tried to implement some things with our tenants to encourage and support that. We help them out with, if you let us know that you're moving, we'll help you out with the security deposit and do an early review and assist you. Yeah, knowing that if they're getting the house, they're usually a little bit better quality than.
Well, that's wonderful. I love it when landlords are solid and good people. And as you know, not all landlords are. There's plenty of slumlords out there. So to hear that you're helping your tenants on the property ladder is very encouraging. But yeah, I do think, again, I can kind of see your future, right? You're going to be able to get to, that 12K number with what you have. I think strategically, maybe one a year. I wouldn't be in a rush, but one a year, kind of move chips from the inner city older to net newer. So in the course of 4 years, all the inner city stuff's gone. So now it's 2029. You have newer stuff. It's now operationalized, and you'll probably be at 12K easy, if not 15,000, and from there it's party time, right? Life is good. Yeah. So what other questions did you have for me, or thoughts that you want us to kind of riff on?
So do you think adding this 10 unit in July or August, the settlement was July 31st actually, do you think adding this 10 unit kind of resets the suck a little bit? We were in 7 or 8 year, and I could see that we were coming out of the suck, and we were going to, be in really pretty good shape then. But now that I've added this one, it kind of feels like some of the sucks come back.
So that's a great question. Again, anytime you pick up something that big, and it's certainly bigger than anything else, right? It's 2.5 times bigger than anything else you own, right? So that's big. Yep. There is absolutely a year of suck that comes with that, because there are surprises, right? For example, you have 3 vacancies in very short order, which frankly, as somebody who owns a bunch of these, doesn't surprise me. Anytime there's a new owner, stuff happens. So it probably resets you a year, but nothing more than that, because as you've just highlighted, you're able to get through with that with just cash flow, which is most people couldn't. So again, it's not like you've gone back to year 5. You might have gone back to year 7. But I do want to highlight again, I think this 10plex will be the thing that catapults you faster. So year 7 is going to feel like year 7, but year 8, 9, and 10 are going to feel like 2 years. So I think there's a accelerant on the other side of the suck. So again, I really do believe 24 months from now, when you and I are talking again, you're going to shake my hand and go, you're absolutely right. That 10plex was the thing that put us over the edge, in the edge in a good way, right? It got us there more concretely. But yeah, I do think you're going to have a little, you're going to go backwards before you go forwards, I think.
Yeah, that's why we bought it, to propel us forward.
Yeah, so I think I think again, I really do think in 24 months you're gonna look at that 10 plex as the thing that set you free. So I think net it'll be a huge positive.
Awesome. Your market, probably all of your properties have built-in air conditioners, right?
No, funny enough, not all of them. Probably 60%, but no, we have some window ACs and now doing in room or whatever those are called. Yeah, dual packs or whatever. Yeah.
Um, the air conditioners that you find in a hotel.
Yeah, can be some of them. Yeah.
Window packs, yeah. We looked at a property that was 6 efficiencies on 3 floors that had all of those window pack kind of air conditioners.
Yeah, and I'm in a market where the summertime those things can't keep up. Anytime it gets above 100, those window ACs are completely useless. I have looked at replumbing properties, but most of them are built so long ago it's impractical. Some of them I've taken to roof mounts, but that's really expensive as well. But yeah, it's yeah, when it gets over 100 degrees, those little window ACs can't keep up.
Right. Well, so that the Templex that I have in my background picture there has all electric baseboard heat. And so I hate seeing those window units in the window, and it just looks ugly, and tenants don't take care of them right. It drips water and ruins walls and buildings. So
windowsills and yep.
So as we're working on remodeling and rehabbing these, I've been wanting to add central AC and heating systems. And so the first one we did cost us $81.45, I think, for the system. The next one's going to be closer to 10 grand because it's a second floor and they have to put it in the attic. But I think
that's what you do this year is you just operationalize that 10plex. So it's a lot easier to rent. Those would be much easier to rent long-term, less headaches, less capital investment long-term by doing that. So again, you're in that year going backwards, but long-term, you're doing the right things.
Yeah. Fortunately, when we looked at the property and did our inspection before settlement, we discovered that the roof was totally shot. And so the seller put a new roof on it before we got it. So
there you go.
I don't have to worry about roofs for 30 years. That's a good thing there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It never sucks to have the past owner put on a new roof right before closing. That doesn't suck.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious. One thing in your story that I didn't see. When did you make your first rental purchase? How long ago was that first one, Jeff?
That's an interesting path of weaving. My wife and I purchased a duplex in 1984 and lived in one and rented the other. So
the original house hacker right there.
Yeah, before it was ever even called house hacking, that's what we did. Bought one and lived in one. I grew up, my father was buying real estate since I was, a wee little one. I remember he bought a fourplex in Hagerstown, Maryland. Okay. And I remember he added 2 apartments in the basement.
Nice.
And I was working on him. I nailed 2x4s to the floor and spilled cans of paint all over the place. But so I've been exposed to it since I was,
that's awesome,
a wee kid. So when my wife and I got married, that was the number one goal I had, was for us to buy a place to live somewhere, and we bought that duplex. And we carried that duplex for quite a few years. Then we bought a house, and I was self-employed and was working on my own for, probably 20 years. And one year I lost my 3 biggest customers.
Oof.
And so my income went from $250K a year to $25,000 a year.
Ouch.
Now it was, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So cost of living was lower, and it was certainly easier to live on less income than I have now.
That still hurts.
We really took a beating, ended up filing bankruptcy. We never actually followed through with the bankruptcy, but we had to sell that duplex or we were going to lose it. And we had to, fortunately, we had family financing, refinance our house, so we didn't lose our house, but we
Nice.
really took a beating that year. And
Okay.
then I made a commitment to pick up some contracting work to add to my business, my side hustle, which I still kind of do, and it makes me multiple five figures every year, even though
Nice.
I have a full-time W-2 job right now. I took a contract position that was supposed to last for 6 months, and it turned into a full-time job that lasted for 10 years. And the project that I've been working on those 10 years was supposed to be done in 6 months. It only just ended a month ago. And
Wow.
so now I'm looking for a new project to work on where I'm working, but it's
Nice.
sustaining me and it's helping us to make some significant savings,
Yeah.
in addition to the real estate investing. So all of this real estate and all of my 401k, those funds have all been acquired since basically 2017, 2016. So
Nice. So 8 years. Oh no, what would that be? 10. Well, let's call it 10 years. All right.
yeah, it's almost 10 years. It's 8 or 9 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Because again, I always tell people, you've heard me say this, but for the audience, I always say that, getting wealthy is a 10-year journey. It doesn't matter when you start, right? It takes what it takes. And it sounds like you're living proof of that.
Yeah. I didn't realize really how good it was until I sat down and started writing down these numbers for you.
Looks pretty good.
I just kind of try and keep taking care of stuff and,
Yeah.
trying to make sure that the bills are paid and that we're
Yep.
making the right moves. And, I have like paycheck deposits, so I
Yep.
never see the money going into 401k. And
That's awesome.
so I'm really glad I got all these numbers for you out of curiosity, because it gave me a whole different perspective on where I'm really at.
No, you're right there. Again, I think you're at year 8. Maybe you go back to year 7 with this 10plex, but again, I think you get to year 10 in 2 years, regardless. So we're splitting hairs. I really do think 2028 will be the year you look back and not only will your net worth probably be up another 7 figures, but your cash flow, your semi or passive cash flow will be in excess of 12 grand. And that's where life really gets good. You really can decide what you want to do when you want, wherever. So my encouragement to you is, keep going what you're going. You don't need any more. You have a great number. Get through this, period of suck with the new 10plex. And if you want to, 1031 out of the inner city into the other area, full blessed. But I think you've got a good plan and a good base. And my encouragement is, keep going and, frankly, don't do anything stupid.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's the important thing, right? In life, don't do anything stupid.
Don't do anything stupid. Yes.
I've done my share of stupid. It's time to be over that.
Yeah, saying we're mature enough where we don't do those things anymore. That's right. That's right.
For sure. I'm old enough to know better.
Old enough to know better. There you go, Jeff. Any last questions as we wrap this up? Thank you for being number 3 of this portfolio review. I had so much fun doing these.
Yeah, I can't think of any specific questions. I loved the Las Vegas last weekend. That was awesome. I had a great time. The one thing I kind of, and I think I told Dion this when he interviewed me. Yep. The one thing I don't, and maybe I'm just because it's high on my mind. Sure. The thing that I don't hear you talk enough about, I think, is people's purpose.
Yes.
What's the purpose of this? Why are you really doing this? Because, if you're just doing it to try and make $10,000 or whatever, that's not going to sustain you through the suck and the shit and the toilets and the hazards and the rehabs and all that crap. You really got to have a deeper purpose. And part of my wife and our purpose is to try and help people on the margin. Mm-hmm. And, that I've realized, it adversely affects our cash flow and our income from time to time, trying to help people on the margin. But it's more important to us, like I was talking about tenants getting on the property ladder. That's more important to us. And we, currently we have enough. I have a good W-2 and And like you say, I think in a couple of years, this is going to sustain us. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I agree. I agree with you. I watched that interview. It's actually loaded. I think it'll go out in the next couple of days. But yeah, your closing question or answer to Dion was about purpose, and I definitely wrote that down. And I think you're absolutely right. I do not talk about it enough. I talk about the first 5 years suck. You're absolutely right. But I should do a better job of tying in how to get through that. And for most of us, it is that purpose, right?
yeah.
It's the thing that, makes the hard days they're just hard days, and you keep going, right? And you're better for it. You learn the lesson and move on. So yeah, I took your feedback. I wrote it down. I'll do some writing on it for sure. I certainly need to talk about it more because it's important. So I appreciate that feedback.
You bet. Awesome.
Well,
And
Jeff, you're amazing.
Enjoyed our time together. It was great talking with you and great meeting you. And I look forward to talking again in 2 years.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure we'll talk before that. But
yeah, I hope to see you in Vegas next January. So I'm sure we'll
on the calendar.
Jeff, you're amazing. Thank you so much
for
doing
my
this.
Ticket now?
No, I won't sell them till August 1st. I always open up tickets on my daughter's birthday. So yeah.
I want to beat Mark. I'm going to get my ticket before Mark because he was such a bully about why aren't you going?
Well, you know what? I'll text you first so you can get it first. How about that?
That works. Thanks.
All right, Jeff. Take care of yourself. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.